I like to say that far from ruining Britain, supermarkets are actually enhancing all our lives. They're giving us choice. I don't want locally sourced produce. I live in London. What am I going to get? Rats, pigeons and dog shit. Well, that's one pie I don't want to bake. Without supermarkets, we wouldn't have supermarket trolleys. And what are people who live on council estates going to use as prams then? I'll tell you what, they're going to come and steal yours. And let's not forget that far from ruining Britain, supermarkets have given us one of the greatest broadcasters in television history, Dale Winton. Rufus mentioned robots, I believe, in a homophobic insult directed at me and my team member. I want you to imagine a world, say, 10, 20 years from now, where we, the humans, are at war with the machines, led by Skynet and Cyberdyne Industries. The machines send back a robot assassin, if you will, a Terminator, to kill the leader of the human resistance, John Connor. John Connor sends back a fighter to defeat the Terminator. This fighter travels back through time. He arrives naked. For some reason, clothes can't travel through time. Where else is he going to find food, clothing and rudimentary weapons but a supermarket? In the crazy blue corner world, the freedom fighters of the future are going to be arrested as streakers, John Connor is going to be killed, and we are going to be enslaved to robot overlords. Well, not on my watch! Supermarkets aren't ruining Britain, they're saving our asses! Vote red!
Thank you, Will. So Marcus and Dara, do their arguments stack up?
I recently saw a documentary about this Terminator of whom you speak, and I don't remember the bit where he walked around Sainsbury's for 10 minutes.
Well, you obviously haven't seen the film that recently,
well, I
because
should
he comes
save
back
Sarah
for...
Connor, but
no.
oh, the value on this Dolmio is fantastic.
Don't listen to his bullshit,
like
all right?
Myself would like
Kyle Reese is chased through a supermarket and a department store, which is where he gets clothes and food. He then gets weapons from a police car, so I maybe kind of conflated that slightly. But nonetheless, he gets the long coat through which he conceals the sawn-off shotgun that he ties with a bit of string that he pulls out in the nightclub where he first encounters the T-1000.
Easy. Dara, listen, I respect
I haven't had sex in a long time.
No. Dara, do not battle Smith on nerdy facts of sci-fi movies, my friend. You are entering a world of pain.
Were we to suggest that this debate could be steered away from the notion of robot overlordage? Just look at who's trying to stick up for them here. The reason that they're basing this argument on spurious sci-fi documentaries is because these are two men who think a supermarket is one in which shares in toffee noses and silver spoons double in value.
Ouch. Is that the blue corner or the green corner, Envy?
Vote blue, get green, Smithy.
You can't graze in a local shop, though, can you? Because they can see you doing it. In a supermarket, you can pretty much...
try the grapes.
You can eat 3 or 4 meals worth before you actually make your way out.
I'm sorry, are you under the impression that it's some sort of lending library that these companies are running?
What, the supermarket?
You can try out the grapes, and if they don't appeal to you after a while...
Not just the grapes. I've eaten a whole raw grouse in Waitrose.
This is the issue. When these two think of supermarkets, they think of Waitrose. Now, obviously, nobody here's ever been to a Waitrose.
It's not just Waitrose, it's also Marks and Spencer's and Fortnum and Mason's.
But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If that was our shopping experiences, then fine. This motion could never stand.
What exactly
but
are
it's
yours?
not that.
So where do
it's
you
the
shop?
Aldi's, it's the Lidl's.
You've never been in those.
All right, no.
Dara, do you really hate supermarkets, or are you just putting it on?
Well, there's an element of putting it on. That's what the show's about. But unless I grossly misunderstood the brief. I thought it was the gist of it. But no, I can understand the way. I see, for some reason, we seem to... It's either tiny corner shops or supermarkets. What about those streets of individual shops of small business that have been torn apart by them? That's what we're really giving out about here.
OK, thank you, gentlemen. So, are big supermarkets ruining Britain? It's time to ask our studio audience. It's a red card for Marcus and Will and a blue card for Rufus and Dara. Vote now. It's very close, but I think it's red. A victory for the red team. Yeah.
Who's doing the counting here? Who's doing the counting? Who is counting those votes?
Well done.
Look, there are people here who saw that. Was that blue or was that not blue? That was blue.
Shut your face.
Loads.
You partisan bastards.
Who is doing the counting?
Listen.
You're making a mockery of this.
Listen. Price check on aisle 5. You
right.
came second.
OK, thank you. Return to your seats, gentlemen. We have a few more rounds to go.
You're not actually colour blind, by the way. No. You could see that they're the same.
OK, the red team have won, and they've convinced our audience... The red team has convinced our audience that big supermarkets are not ruining Britain. We often buy things at the supermarket we don't want. During last summer's heat wave, I bought 8 cans of dog food, but by the time I got back to the car, I discovered I didn't need it. Right. Next up is our head-to-head round. One person starts the argument, and every time I press the buzzer, their opponent argues the opposite. Marcus and Dara, you're up for this one. And the topic I'd like you to debate is this. The theory of evolution is nonsense. Dara, I'd like you to start us off in favour of the statement.
Theory of evolution is that due to minor changes, we will improve and grow and develop over time. And that's been happening as long as life has been, as long as the human's been, which is 14 billion years of tiny genetic mutations leading to gradual improvement. And that's the theory. Here's the fact. 14 billion years of tiny genetic mutations leading to improvement after improvement after improvement. And apparently this is the case. Why do we still have Kerry Katona? I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, just as Mr. O'Brien can try to disprove the theory of evolution with one name, let me prove the theory of evolution to you with one piece of fruit and one hound. Go ahead. This, of course, comes from our simian roots. Look at that, all the concentration going on there. That is hound trying desperately not to eat that piece of fruit using his feet.
Yes. But maybe there are monkeys, if we brought them onto the show, would be just as good on a panel show as you are. So therefore... we have no idea. We have merely found an interchangeable monkey man. That's all we've proven there.
There's only 2 choices. There's evolution or there's God, right? And your version, the God version, is bollocks.
I don't remember mentioning the big G at any stage. No, mainly because I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God.
You, sir, are Irish. You're only atheist when you're over here.
You think that I bless myself when I land in Dublin Airport?
I did. When I went to Dublin, I went dressed as the Pope. I thought it was the safe thing to do.
Well, it's not. OK.